Heisman Trophy winner, second overall pick to the Washington franchise, best rookie seasons of all time, and they got the two-strand twist. But that's where it stops. Let's talk about this narrative that's out here right now. What is going on? I'm fresh off work, just got in the crib. Hope you're doing well. West Jai Like Sports. And I'm back. I spent the block in the most holiest way. I'm back in less than 24 hours. And I wanted to hop on here and just talk about how the narrative in the air, people are starting to compare Jayden Daniels and RG3. And we got to address that right now. I was there for the 2012 season. I remember it very vividly. I remember the rise and I remember the fall. And we're living in, I don't want to say the fall, there's no fall of Jayden Daniels, but we're living in a rough patch. We're living in a little hurdle. So I know he's going to get over it. We all going to get over it. But it's totally different from what Mr. Robert Griffin III went through when we was going through that, 13 years ago now? So let's just compare it real quick. They both brothers. They got the two strands. They both Heisman winners. They're both Heisman winners. They both were very highly considered the best QB in their draft. Well, RG3 had Andrew Luck in front of him, so never mind about that. But, they both were probably considered number two. I'll say that. They consensus number two. So that's that. They had arguably the greatest rookie seasons of all time. RG3 had his season, and everybody thought it was the best. And then CJ Stroud came, and most people would say he topped that. And then Jayden Daniels came the next year and then topped that. But it's not 100% fair to compare because RG3 played 15 games, still when they had the 16-game season, and Jayden Daniels played 16 games, I believe. 17 games. He didn't miss a game. I just thought about that. Jayden Daniels did not miss a game. And Jayden Daniels, I mean, you look at the extra two games. I know RG3 missed the game with the hit from Haloti Ngata against the Ravens. And that was honestly where he tore his ACL. And then Kirk Cousins had that great game against Cleveland the next week. And he saw how well he ran the Shanahan offense and the traditional version of it. And he was scared that he could lose his job in the near future. So he rushed to come back. You know, there's a clip of him online talking to Trent Williams on the sideline during the Seahawks game in the playoffs. And he was like, "Hey, bro, I heard something pop, but don't say nothing." So obviously the fear of him, eventually getting beat out whenever that time came, which it did with Jay Gruden, but it came and he feared for it. So, you remember the commercials, week one, all in, doing all this and letting explosions and all that on the Under Armour commercial. All that to just end up with a debacle of a second season. So, as of right now, you may say, well, shoot, we probably heading to a debacle of a second season too. But the difference is, like I said earlier, Bruce Allen was our GM back then. Brucifer, that's what they call him. And we got Adam Peters. Adam Peters, the jury is still out. I'm very, very, very optimistic. I want to be clear about that. I'm super optimistic about Adam Peters. But with Bruce Allen, the greatest thing he ever did was the famous quote, winning off the field. So it's no comparison in terms of what the two quarterbacks couldn't control, which is the GM, the ownership, and all of that. I mean, we had the Snyder era. The Snyder era was probably the longest storm in human history, longer than the flood. And this era, Josh Harris era, is a breath of fresh air, to say the least. Even though our record is looking like, top 10 draft worthy, I'm still cool with that. I'm still cool with the fact that we have a plan, and I will say we don't 100% know the plan, but I am a believer that they do have a plan. And sometimes with plans, you have orders and steps and all that, and you scratch out things, you make your little adjustments like they did this past off season with trying to go all in with that little window. But that window turned out to be a mirage. It turned out to be a stained glass. And now what we have to do is take a few steps back, wipe the dirt off our face, get everything, situated, and start to get younger, start to acquire talent with higher upside compared to just vets who can plug and play right now and maybe, contribute for a Super Bowl run. That's over. That was probably over realistically to everybody's understanding, probably week 5. The writing was on the wall. That's when the injuries really started piling up. But nonetheless, if you really look at the stats between those two, before I get to the stats, I'll just say, yeah, with the ownership, everything in sports and even in life in general, everything that's consistent, whether it's good or bad, it's always going to fall from the top. You got Snyder to Bruce Allen to Mike Shanahan. And Mike Shanahan really couldn't do much, him and Kyle, because I think he had an agreement with Bruce Allen before they signed him. Like, we're going to kind of commingle these transactions and these acquisitions, like Pete Carroll and Snyder up in Seattle. And I think Bruce Allen shook on that, but then double crossed him. So him waking up, finding out later in the day, well, Jay Gruden woke up to Alex Smith being traded to the Redskins, but Bruce Allen made a trade in the evening for Donovan McNabb, and that was basically, in my opinion, the first step to where Mike Shanahan was like, hold up, we ain't talk about that. I didn't have plans for that at all. And then even with RG3, how we gave up that haul to the Rams to move up to the second pick, and really Mike Shanahan liked Kirk Cousins a lot, which was why he still drafted him in the 4th round, but he also liked Ryan Tannehill. And I think before we moved up to the second pick, I think we either had the 7th or the 10th pick. I think it was somewhere in that range. And we were going to more than likely draft Ryan Tannehill because they felt like he fit the Shanahan system with the speed he had back there, because he was like a former wide receiver. He could bootleg. But all of that is out of their control. But with the power that Daniel Snyder gave Robert Griffin and his father, he allowed Robert Griffin to skip the pecking order of the coach and all of that type of stuff. And he went straight to the owner's office, locked the door, chill with him, talking whatever and snitching on everybody and letting them know, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like the fact they're making me run all the time. It's their fault I'm getting hurt, blah, blah, blah. Which, when you look at every single injury from the first hit, when he dove for the touchdown in Witherspoon for the Falcons, rung his bell, concussed. And then the Haloti Ngata hit, scrambling, doesn't know how to slide. Bryce Harper came and asked him, like, you want me to teach you how to slide? I'm a baseball player. RG3 is like, nah, I'm good. God bless. But he turned down stuff like that and then blamed other people for his injuries. And then obviously the icing on the cake was the Seahawks game. And everybody says, oh, it's the field, FedEx Field. Which FedEx Field was bad? It's on the same level of MetLife back in the day. But that really wasn't the main thing. That was the icing on the cake. That wasn't the actual cake. The cake was Haloti Ngata, really. If you looked at his leg, it was like, whoopsie. So that was that. And remember, after that season, a lot of people don't notice when RG3 came into Snyder's office and wrote these quotes on the board, quotes that Daniel Snyder allegedly used to say around the facility all the time. Basically, Daniel Snyder told him what to say, and I forgot what the quotes were, but he wrote some things on the board, and he was like, I'm not doing the read option no more. I want to be a drop back passing quarterback like Breeze and Aaron Rodgers. And they pretty much kind of granted his wish, and then you saw what happened. You know, he's never been that type of guy. Drop back guys and traditional quarterbacks, they've been doing this since Pop Warner. And RG3 was, I think when he came to Baylor, he was a wide receiver, and he tore his ACL his freshman year. But enough of Robert Griffin. As you can see, those are two different trajectories. And the difference is Jayden Daniels is such a team player. He's such a, it's all on me. I'm not throwing nobody under the bus. He took responsibility for the Bears game and the fumble. And that's the type of guy you want. That's the leader you want. And Jayden Daniels' situation, he has a much better team around him. We can say what we want about Bobby Wagner, but you can't deny the fact that since day one, he been the OG to him. He been going with him to the Wizards games. He been really just instilling that veteran, like, yo, I'm gonna show you how to be a professional because I'm not gonna be here long. I'm gonna show you how to take over this team, get this city here, and just have everybody, you know, leading us to the promised land. Same thing with Zach Ertz. You know, he took Jayden Daniels under his wing, and he's just said, look, bro, I'm going to do what I can on the field, but I'm not going to be here long. I'm going to drop these gems, and hopefully, you know, you can take what me and Wagner and the other guys give you and, you know, lead the next generation of the future Commanders players. But real quick, before I get back into the mental aspect, when you look at the yards, if you can actually make an argument that RG3's rookie season was better in terms of numbers. Now, they went on a 7-game win streak and with RG3 2012 because we were 3-6. We lost to the Panthers in that little stupid homecoming game. And I remember D'Angelo Williams getting mad about that, you know, talking about this ain't no high school, no college. So we went on a run with that. But with us last year, we were consistent. Like, we might lose a game here and there, but then we will win 2, then we'll win 3, then we will lose 1, and then win more. But RG3 played 15 games. Jayden Daniels played 17. RG3 had 3,200 passing yards. JD5 had 3,568. RG3 actually had the better passer rating. He threw 5 less touchdowns in 2 less games and had 4 less interceptions. And he ran for 815 rushing yards, which was the record. I think Lamar Jackson broke that. I'm not sure. But rushing touchdowns, Jayden Daniels had 6. I can't remember how many RG3 had. But anyway, they both had high completion percentage. I think RG3 had less. I think Jayden Daniels had 69. But yeah, they both had records. They broke rookie records, and still to this day, probably both of them easily top 5 rookie QB seasons of all time. But back to the mentality. RG3 he had a plan set out for him. When we really started picking it up, the Shanahans basically told RG3, when you drop back on one side of the field, you process. If you don't see your first read and he's not open, then you run. And it worked. I mean, the perfect example was the Vikings game on that long run. He dropped back. Oh, Pierre ain't open. I'm gone. Straight down the sideline. Electrifying. All that type of stuff. So he was listening to his coaches until he didn't listen. And with Jayden Daniels, he has not only listened to his coaches. Now, I know the elbow injury. Dan Quinn said that, 50 times out of 50, he would have, hand the ball off or thrown it. It's an anomaly. It happens. I get it. It's football. It's a freak accident. It's like playing the lottery. You get enough cracks at it, eventually you're probably going to win, because that's what odds and probabilities are. But I can bet my bottom dollar that he'll never do that to his elbow again. So the similar injury happened to Kurt Warner. I don't know if y'all remember back in 2007. Kurt Warner was just talking about how he felt like Jayden Daniels regressed. And technically he's right, but he's not saying that he's going to continue to regress. It's so many variables and factors to this. RG3 didn't have the injuries. Even in the second year, RG3 didn't have the injuries and he still regressed. And the reason he regressed was of his own decision making and his own pride and his own ego. Jayden Daniels regressed this second year because of the injuries and because of, I would say, his lack of trust and a little bit of, Cliff Kingsbury not trusting his guys because of the availability of receivers and skill positions, and him just not being able to shake that. He just couldn't shake the trust. And, and it's like going back to the top. Adam Peters had going into his 30-year-old player in Terry McLaurin, wanting a new contract. He traded for Debo, who had his statistically worst season last year. And two guys who are, on the older side of a wide receiver. Not to say they can't be productive, but then you go and you draft somebody in Jalen Lane who has had the dropsies since he's been in college. And a lot of times when you get the dropsies in college, it's hard to shake them. There's not many people who go into the NFL and just completely, do a 180. So it's going to kind of follow you. And with Jalen Lane running a 4.3 and still not getting separation, that's the footwork. That's just the skill level that is missing there. And then with Luke McCaffrey, he has gotten better. He's gotten a lot better, but Jayden Daniels still doesn't trust him enough. I mean, it's obvious when he played, his trust guys that were Zach Ertz and Deebo Samuel, and sometimes even Chris Moore, which is crazy. But still not trusting Luke. Some people felt like Luke should get more of an opportunity and throughout those games, but simply he just didn't. I mean, every time he got an opportunity, he made a good play, from the 50-yard bomb against the Chargers, and then the toe tapper. Well, that was the Chiefs game. That was Mariota. But still, he got an opportunity and he made the best of it. He caught 3 touchdowns in 4 to 5 games, and that's cool. I like that. I don't see Luke as a starter. I see him at best as a really good number 4. Like, he should replace Noah Brown potentially if he continues to develop and he heals up from his collarbone. But it's obvious we missed the opportunity in grabbing a really good, young, solid wide receiver out here, whether that's trade or whether that's free agent or whether that's in the draft. We didn't do it, and we're just living with the decisions that we made. Hey, look, can't cry over spoiled milk. The best thing we can do for the rest of the season is accept reality. And I know people hate this tanking word. I guess I'll word it better. I'll say, just figure out what you have for the future. That's the best way I'm gonna say it. Because sometimes if you go too hard on the tanking and you put all young guys in, then they can be in positions that they're not ready to be in, and they can actually get worse. They can turn into people like Patrick Ramsey, who just got shell shocked, David Carr. They just keep getting hit, and they never can recover from that. And no matter what the position is, you could put people out too much, too early. So it's tough. I know we're couch coaches. We sit here and we coach from the sidelines of our couches and at the stadium in the club section. But we do that, and we don't realize that it's so much more to it. But at the same time, there are some things where it don't take no rocket scientist. It don't take no, Dick LeBeau to figure out that Quan Martin is 30 yards off the ball and he should be checking somebody, coming out the flats. Like, that's obvious stuff. That's just obvious. But anyway, I'm pushing the 20-minute mark, and I want to wrap this up. And I just, like I said, wanted to spin the block real quick in the holiest way and let you guys know that I'm here. I rock with you guys, love you guys, and just wanted to kill that narrative right now. JD5 is not RG3. I know they got hurt on the same part of the field, same yard line, and that's it. That's where it stops. Sorry, my SD card ran out, but yeah, that's where it stops. My SD card was like, yeah, that's where no, I'm not talking to you, DJI. I was talking about RG3 and JD5. Even they nicknames sound better. JD5, RG3, JD5, JD5. I'm gonna go with JD5. But yeah, that's where it stops, and that's where this video stops. So if you rock with this conversation, let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any more comparisons to the two that you think of, that you can think of, or let me know if, you know, RG3 actually could have been better than JD5. Whatever you got, let me know. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff if your heart so desires. As always, you know, I'm about to go eat dinner, you know. I just had some yellow buns, so you know, you know. But God bless as always. Peace.